Good evening, wrestling enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for a proper review. Last week we discussed the July 10, 2025 Rush Store, and that means today we're here to talk about July 17. So sit back and relax. I'm going to start yapping. So what was my initial reaction when I first saw this Rush Store? Well, number one, that's a lot of collection continuations. That's looking interesting. Number two, we actually got a Sinotype collection. Oh yes, the first storage collection to be accepted in 3 years. I was ecstatic. Everybody was super hyped up. Wonderful. Now, just to remind you, the night before we did the abnormal barters for the Sinotype firearms, and we were questioning. We were well aware of the ammo box. Oh, we were hoping for it to be accepted, and lo and behold, it was, and we were so happy. This, like overnight, went all the way up to about $10. But would it last? And what would we think about this? I've seen storage collections progress before, and I did mention it. I expected the very first box to work out quite nicely, but ammo? Well, we'll see. But long term. So as long as you see a full collection, should be all right. It's okay. Heatseeker Summer continues with an LR300, but I don't really trust them that much. What's that all about? Well, I will explain. Another ice pick was accepted. How many of them are we going to be getting accepted then? If you don't remember, the brand new initiative to see certain items that don't get that many skins accepted, having a lot more effort to have skins made for them. Well, in July 2025, Ice Pick was chosen, and at this specific point, we had the second one accepted, 2 in a row, consecutive Rush Stores. $3 for a Gold Chains Ice Pick. But I do remember its collection isn't exactly like a coherent, normal one. It's very incomplete. So maybe that might have problems, or maybe people just be like, oh, Gold Ice Pick, I need that. Okay. Alright then, well, look at that. Another collection, another neon skin is accepted, another subset for the neon collection overall. If you can remember, in the past, we've had the storages, we've had the small boxes, we've had the lockers, we've had the garage doors, and now we have a subset of fridges. So, okay, cool. We just saw the meat fridge the previous week, and when this appeared, went up to about $5, $6, so that's nice. But would that one actually be good? I do recall talking about the meat fridge and saying, well, this is the first one in its initial little subset. I don't really feel confident about the other ones, and it is true. I was looking at that and thinking a little bit, not very sure, not confident, so I'll talk more about that in a bit. Brand new clothing and armor set, potentially, with the funerary hoodie and pants. That's looking interesting. A strange tarred design with some bones exposed. Okay, well, we'll see if that works out, but let's see if we see some interesting collection continuations appear over the following weekend. Yep. Another see-through transparent locker. Did we have the bamboo one recently? Yes. Much like how we saw the bamboo small box and then we saw the bone small box. Okay, that's interesting. And when this appeared, the bamboo one went down in price pretty quickly. An ultramarine rock. That's a bit odd. And we've seen a lot of rocks this year. Could the collection carry the rock? We'll see. And another pair of boots are accepted. With the previous Rush Store, you may recall we had the black diamond boots. That had waited about a year to be accepted. But of course, it completed the collection, didn't it? Well, with the very next Rush Store, as you see here, Chameleon. That waited over a year, and it was finally accepted and completed the collection. And this was a brand new trend that we'd see for the foreseeable future throughout the summer. So okay, overall, it was looking very nice. It was a good looking Rush Store. But out of all the skins, I'm always making considerations for what potentially could be the best investment for the week. And so, what were my thoughts? Let's talk about that now. I had to talk about the Sinotype ammo. Long term, brand new storage collection? Yeah, I'm feeling good. My only concern was, were we going to see another storage collection very quickly after this? Because remember, a big benefit for the other previous storage collections was the fact that we didn't see a brand new storage collection for about 3 years. Is this going to get the same amount of time after it? I doubted that, so. It is the second skin. Firearm skin was going up in price very nicely. The night before, someone dumped a whole bunch of the firearms because they were feeling unsure. They got scared. They got worried. I was very happy about that. So about 81 in total. Loads of people super happy. Loads of people are now fully well aware we have a storage collection right there in front of us. Would this get more sales? We had to wait and see. With the other skins, I looked at the hoodie and pants. I was like, you know what? Tier 2, tier 3, doesn't matter. If we see it, that's going to go up in price very nicely. I personally didn't like the set that much. Sorry to say, I just thought it looked a bit odd. All the bones, bandolier around there, it's a bit odd. What am I? An undead cowboy or something? So, it doesn't matter. So as long as you see the collection continuation, it's good. I also looked at the Heatseeker LR300, but my issue was, it's an LR300. Yeah, it's a Heatseeker skin, and Heatseeker Sun was fantastic. But never have I felt so unsure, and never have I lacked so much confidence in a Heatseeker skin, such as the LR300. There have been attempts to buff it in the past, but people just don't respect the LR300. I mean, I could just quickly go over to, we don't have the skins here, so what if I go to here and look at the most recent LR300s? Need I remind you, whilst this had a pay-to-win aim sight, we saw the exact same thing with the Apocalypse Nomad. That sold next to nothing, and it had gone down in price by at least half at this specific point in time when I first saw this Rustor. And then all the other LR300s, they weren't looking very good either. So I hope I've got the point across. People don't seem to like LR300s. The prices are down for a reason. Will that hold simply because it's a Heatseeker skin? Or will it suffer because it's an LR300? If people don't like using the weapon that much, where's the justification to own skins? And that leads to lower prices. So I'm sure you understand. The smart builder could still work out nicely. Alright then, well, we'll see what happens. And I talked about the boots. I was under the impression the Chameleon boots could end up being the lowest selling skin compared to all the other skins. So, whilst we have loads of weapons, my main concern was how does it compare to the hoodie pants, the tier 3 and the tier 2. And it honestly looked like it was not going to sell that much because it was, for a while, initially, the lowest selling skin. The best thing I could compare to was the road sign gloves, which evidently aren't visible here, so I'll go back over to here. And basically, the Chameleon gloves, at this specific time, it was comfortably in the positive because it sold the least amount compared to all the rest. If this matched up perfectly to that, or sold a little bit less, or just slightly a little bit more, it should still be perfectly fine as well. And so as long as the collection remained in demand, it could have a very nice future ahead of it. So okay, that sounded pretty interesting. Next up, had to mention the veggies fridge. Had to mention that, yes, whilst this is, of course, the fridge after the meat fridge, I did sit here and say, you know what? I honestly think only this is going to be the one that's going to be doing quite alright, because I did remember the behaviour with the lockers the previous year. If you can remember, when we got the full kit locker, that sold a lot initially, didn't it? Then we got this and this just after it, and it just kept spiking the price ever so nice. But these two skins, they never even had like a chance. They just went down in price very quickly, immediately, basically. And there was the question of, did you even need multiple lockers? Quite a lot of people did suggest that, yeah, I do like having a lot. When you're a big clan, it makes sense, cool. Well, do you need multiple fridges? Do you need a meat fridge and a veggies fridge? And let's also take this into consideration. We were well aware that a Twitch drop fridge was on the horizon as well. Perhaps it wouldn't sell that much. Perhaps it could get a bit lucky with a lack of sales. And maybe people do appreciate vegetables. Vegans. So, okay, cool. The more, the merrier, perhaps. But I was only aware of two other skins, Pie's Fridge and Berry's Fridge. Were they both going to be accepted? Could we actually see another one appear and give that a boost? We had to wait and see. The Bones locker was looking pretty interesting, but again, we had already seen a transparent bamboo locker. And when I first saw this, I did do comparisons. I did a short video like showcasing how much each one had in regards to transparency and all that. When this appeared, the bamboo locker went down in price. And it was ruining my confidence with this. The bamboo locker had gone down to close to $1. And I thought, well, this probably will be selling less than that, of course. But is it even going to be okay? Wasn't confident, so okay. Another rock skin in 2025. We had quite a lot, but all of them had faces and cute, silly like animals and whatnot. We literally just had the deep ruby rock the previous week. Perhaps it won't sell that much. And it was an ultramarine skin. When we went through February, March, April, the spring/Easter dip, this whole collection was in the green. Didn't suffer. People liked it. People appreciated it. So could it be carried by its collection? Had to wait and see. I went to Gold Chains Ice Pick, selling at $3. Its collection's a bit odd. It is a bit odd. But I knew there would be more salvaged ice picks. the amount I was seeing being submitted on the workshop every single weekend was ridiculous. I didn't actually know how many there was going to be, and I didn't know if it was going to continue into the next month when we see a new focused item being accepted. Just to clarify, there was a special initiative to set up focused items for every month from July onwards. In July 2025, due to the fact that the Salvaged Ice Pick has had next to no skins been accepted for about 10 years almost, that was chosen. All the skin creators were encouraged to make Salvaged Ice Pick skins. In total, I remember about 50 plus. I didn't know how many were going to be accepted, but I was going to wait and see, and I had a hunch there would be more. Would I be correct? And so, everything looked pretty interesting initially. Lots of collection continuations, interesting choices. But what was the first 24 hours of sales like? So, if I could just remind you, SEMM wasn't working properly back then. But Sinotype ammo, it did sell more compared to the firearms from the previous week. It had almost 16,000 subscribers. The LR300, it had interest. That had just over 12,000 subscribers. Ice Pick, even though it sold at $3, and I did question whether it's going to get competition, that did just over, or rather just under 11,000 subscribers. Fridge was selling less compared to the meat fridge from the previous week, just over 7,000 subscribers. Brand new collection, the clothing armor, the funerary hoodie and pants, that only did about almost 5,000 subscribers, as did the locker. The rock, just below 4,000 subscribers. And the boots, evidently they were the lowest selling skin of the week, only around 3,500 subscribers. So, okay, not too bad. But how did things progress? And I just want to quickly segue and talk about the progression of a storage collection. With the firearms box being accepted, I had to kind of inform people how you might want to approach a storage collection as it progresses, because I've experienced it before. I was aware of what usually happens. And initially, my expectation was around October in 2025, most of the skins should probably be around $3. They'll most likely stagnate. But the firearms box, with it being the very first one, and with all the other skins being accepted after it, it was expected to be the one that was going to perform the best. A lot of people do appreciate a guns box. How many people can appreciate an ammo box? And what other skins was the skin creator going to make? Was he going to commit to it? Was he going to make consecutive skins? But over the course of the weekend, we did see one appear, along with a lot of other interesting collection continuations. And so, now it is time to talk about the abnormals. What prices did we offer? Well, let's hop over to here and remind you. The night before, with the Rust rotation, its abnormal barders, Sinotype ammo has just under 34,000 subscribers. Heatseeker LR300 has almost 30,000 subscribers. Gold Chains Ice Pick sold quite a lot. Not as much compared to the one we saw the previous week, the Prototype Ice Pick, but it still was selling a lot for $3. Wow. Neon Veggies Fridge, evidently it wasn't selling as much compared to the meat fridge. Could it help it out? We'll discuss that. Funerary Clothing didn't sell too ridiculously. Interesting. As did the Locker. Considerably less sales compared to the Bamboo one. Ultramarine Rock, not selling that much. Probably because we got the Deep Ruby Rock just the week before, so okay. And the Chameleon Boots, one day before the Rust rotation, and it's got about 1,000 subscribers less compared to the Roadside Gloves. Interesting. Now, only one skin was not abnormal, that being Ultramarine Rock. So of all these skins, what prices do we suggest? For the Sinotype ammo, I felt confident, I was interested. Having been dumped on the week before with all those firearms, and I was happy about that because they'd all gone up in price. They were getting close to $10 at this specific point in time. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go strong on it. It's a $2.49 skin, but I do expect more and more Sinotype skins to be accepted. Meds had just been submitted on the weekend, over the weekend. I suggested $1.72.20. Long term, I expected it to work out quite nicely. With the Heatseeker LR300, I didn't trust LR300s. I still don't. Until we see a proper buff, it's not going to get the interest. It's not going to work out nicely. Yeah, it's a Heatseeker skin, but even then, it's expected it's going to drop off. It also sold quite a lot. I wasn't expecting around 30,000 subscribers. So I thought to myself, yeah, it's got to pay to insight and whatnot, but not enough. $1.50 to $2. I thought it might end up around half its price. Gold Chains Ice Pick. I did expect another Ice Pick to be accepted, and with more competition, I'd expect problems. $3, I wasn't sure if it's going to maintain that higher price. I suggested $1 to $1.50. With the Neon Veggies fridge, well, I still didn't feel confident. I still expected it to drop off. At $2.49, I was still expecting, as we go through September, October, November, the autumn fall seasonal dip, I kind of thought it was going to crash and go down. So at $2.49, I suggested only 80 cents to $1.20. I was aware it sold less, but still wasn't confident. Funerary hoodie pants. To be honest with you, back then I said it, and I still say it. I don't really like it. It's not my style. What am I? An undead cowboy or something with all the bandoliers? Anyway. So I suggested 70 cents to $1 for that $1.49 pairing. Both of them $1.49, just clarify. Bone cage locker. Well, I just looked at the bamboo locker, saw it was going down to close to about $1, so I suggested 80 cents to $1.10. Didn't trust it, so yeah, lower price. For a $2 skin, it's a bit low. And with the chameleon boots, selling not that much, felt a little bit confident, $1.49 skin. I thought I'd do 80 cents to $1.10. And for the $2 Ultramarine Rock that was not abnormal, with a lack of sales, I thought, you know what, I'd do 90 cents to $1.40. I expected that to not go down in price that much, due to the fact that I didn't expect that many listings and whatnot. So okay, pretty interesting. And so, what's the outcomes with all the skins? We got a pretty cool looking Sinotype large box collection. Storage collection. Why did I say large box? Anyway, that did 36,000 subscribers. But what followed it was plenty more storages. So evidently, we're basically up to about 10 now, technically. 9 accepted, but there's, it's expected to be accepted there. We do question, is this collection going to have problems as we go through October? Because, of course, inevitably we've got Halloween rustores, and we might have 2 or 3 Halloween rustores. And there was a bit of a problem overall with the whole collection, because for 1 week we had a complete sets rustore where we didn't see a Sinotype skin, and they crashed quite quickly, pretty quickly. Not for a very long time. It was like, and then back up again. Now, what also happened, around halfway through August, and I'll show this to you, there's a bit of a buyout. Like, as I said with the video I made, I was expecting most of these skins to stagnate around stagnate around the autumn fall seasonal dip. I was expecting that the price would drop off a bit. We could go grab some, wait it out, reach post-Christmas times, that'd be January 2026, sell them then. Typically, around January time, when there's that Christmas period where people aren't working as much, kids are out of school, plenty of people play Rust. And with tons of people playing, you would expect prices to be a whole lot better. I thought you could grab in a bunch of cheaper skins. Around then, wait it out, you could do some very good flips. But no, prices have been very good recently. Now, unfortunately, we have this individual right here listing 109. The expectation is that, yes, all of these were to stagnate around $3, but this has already peaked at $5 initially already. As you'll see right here, that is the middle of August. People jumped in, they did some big buyouts for all the skins. So if I could just quickly remind you, at one point, firearms reached $30+. This reached $5. Oh, I've already clicked that, sorry about that. This meds box also reached around $5. Components reached $8. And ore, well, it only went up to about $4, but then prices have cooled off and went back down again. It was very quick. It only lasted like a day. But if you sold around then, oh mate, you would have made some wonderful profits. So now I ask you, well, have you picked up any ammo boxes? Yes, I have. With my stronger $2.20 barter, I have picked up some for a cheaper price of like 30 cents cheaper. Not going to complain. Long term, I do expect nice profits. Did you buy any straight from the store? I did. So if I could just quickly remind you, I've got my list here, keep a track of all my purchases. I bought 50. But I will point out, after this, I didn't buy any more. Because I was expecting prices to start dropping off. And yeah, there's a lot of hype initially. Yeah, lots of hype initially, but didn't last forever. In terms of, oh, surely all of these are going to be A-OK as time goes on. But we did see meds immediately the week after, then components, then ore, then tools, then clothes, then scrap, and then armor. But in between, there was 1 week where we had this rust store over here, and yeah, people panicked. So if I could just quickly show that to you again, this period of time was where it went down, and then clothes appeared the very next rust store. Things went back to normal. But since then, prices have been going down. So yeah, perhaps they could get cheaper. We shall see. So it was expected initially. We did have that period of time where it went up, but it didn't last. So yeah, it seems it might have just been a buyout, maybe a bit of a pump. So okay, back to here. Let's talk about the remaining skins. Heatseeker Summer was a wonderful time, but never have I had a lack of confidence in a skin in this collection. The LR300, I questioned you, I worried about you, and well, I was right to suggest $1 to $1, no, $1.50 to $2. Right. It's the next one that's $1 to $1.50. So this right here, right now, it's September. Most prices for skins have started to stagnate. In some instances, they're going down. And this right here, it went down. It is trending downwards more and more and more, as you'll see. But could it go that much lower? I'm not sure. As I said, this did about 30,000 subscribers. Quite a lot more than I was anticipating. But of course, a lot of people were like, oh, it's Heatseeker, I've got to jump in, it should be right. I'll be honest with you. If we were to look at this around January 2026, post-Christmas, I think this will probably go back up to above $3. Wouldn't surprise me. It's not that bad. It's quite thin. You've got a 20 there, but then after that, it's quite thin. Doesn't look like there's going to be any issues. So, who knows? With the proposed updates for October and November, I think we'll probably see a very nice recovery. If October's balancing the game, it's going to be a big meta shift, apparently. I'm sure you've been keeping on the commits, but anyway. They still haven't mentioned whether they're going to buff and nerf weapons. And if that got a significant buff, if people would actually appreciate it, I assure you, the prices would be a whole lot better for all of these skins. But back then, I looked for all of these, they were down real bad. And 2 months later, I look at these, they're down real bad, including the Heatseeker LR300. It's not doomed. I do expect at least some of a rebound. I don't expect it to be massively profitable in the future, until we see a change that really makes the LR300 be appreciated. Did you buy any? Because I didn't. I have a barter, and I think I've only bought one so far. But, could I grab some more? Now you might sit and say, but hang on a minute, you suggested $2. Well, I made a mistake. I think I did like $1.20 and $1.60, so... yeah, I made a mistake. So, yeah. I got it wrong with my price, even though I suggested a different price. But it seems I saved myself there, but unfortunately for you other people, we'll have to wait and see. But if you have picked some up and you bought it for around $2, I still think you're going to make a nice profit. You just got to wait till January time. So, yeah. Gold Chains Ice Pick. Yes, we did see more salvaged ice picks, as you'll see right there. So these two, they saw quite a lot. 26,600 subscribers. Oh, 26,100 subscribers and 24,000 subscribers. So there's quite a lot of hype simply due to the fact that, oh, look, we've got another salvaged ice pick skin again. Yay. But then another one appeared. And another one. And a few weeks later, another one appeared. Unfortunately, other options appeared and they took the attention away from these two. And this one. And yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, we haven't seen that many salvaged ice pick skins being submitted since we had the focus month. In August, it was wooden double doors that are focused. And right now, it's M39s. One thing I have noticed is every single focused item so far have had 4 skins accepted. But remember, this was complete the sets rush door, so that was a little bit special. So anyway, wooden double doors had the same. Let's see if the M39s had the same. But let's just, get back on track. How bad is this right now? Well, I did suggest $1 to $1.50, and right now it's just about $2. I'm not upset with the suggestion I did. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. I have actually picked up 2 of them with my barter right here. Now, with currency exchanges, they do change, and I must have put down a $1.50 barter, but it seems my currency got stronger compared to dollar, so now it's $1.58. But I have picked up 2. Didn't purchase them, buy orders. And I do believe I'm over down here around $1 somewhere. Can't seem to find myself. So, okay. I'm not upset. Maybe it'll dip a little bit more. We are starting to see a bit of a pile up here. But with a lack of newer skins being submitted, I don't think we'll see that many more being accepted. I could see this work out quite nicely. With the collection being an odd one, I was going to say oddball there, sorry. An oddball, sorry. Got a bit mixed up. There have been attempts for tier 2, tier 3 hoodie pants, never accepted. But let's add all these tools and 2 pairs of gloves. Anyway, let's see how that progresses. But with other ones appearing, unfortunately, it just lost interest, so. Who would have guessed? Neon Veggie's fridge. To my surprise, it's actually done very nicely. So, as you can see here, it's basically evens at the moment. Slightly above $2.49. Bars are still around $2. The suggested price was, in fact, 80 cents to $1.20. I was too cowardly. I lack confidence. That's on me. I've missed out. I honestly thought it was going to behave like the lockers from the previous year, but no. apparently there's a lot of vegetarians out there that play Rust. I guess. But the funny thing is, we did see a meat fridge, a pie fridge appear after this. But we never got the berries fridge, which always confused me. So berries was actually the very first fridge to be submitted by Duck, if I could just quickly remind you. So there you go. Never accepted. Perhaps Facepunch just didn't want it. All right, well, fair enough. But yeah, pie fridge appeared. And this is actually down in price, this one. If I could just quickly showcase to you. As you'll see, came out around the same time as the Fancy Orb fridge, but this one still sold around the same amount as this. But that one's down by a quarter. That one's evens and slightly above. Will it hold? I don't think so. I could see it still slip, but I don't expect it to drop off that much, because if we could just quickly go back over to here, it's got that cushion, but it's only around $2, and that will stop, if you know what I mean. So, okay. So, did you buy any? Have you picked up any with a bar order? Because I've missed out. I made a mistake. That's on me. But let's see if it works out. I honestly didn't think people would need multiple different fridges. I'm going to put all my meat over here. I'm going to put all my vegetables over here. I mean, sure, whatever. But I also have to bring this up. How many fridges are we going to see being accepted in 2025? Because it's going to be a bit ridiculous compared to previous years, isn't it? Could it suffer because of that? I have to wait and see. Funerary hoodie and pants. This has been weird, so let me explain. For a fairly decent amount of time, we did not see a collection continuation. But initially, someone walked in and bought out like all of the stock. So can you see here, the middle of August, someone jumps in and buys out all the hoodies. Same thing happens to the pants. So it did drop off to about, initially like $1 or so. But then it managed to stay above $1. And then evidently we got the collection continuations, and yeah, it just went wild. At one point selling for almost $5, as did the pants. Now the weird thing with this collection is we got tier 2, but it sold an absolutely absurd amount. Hoodie pants, around 11,000 subscribers, but these 3 pieces, almost 30,000. So yeah, that's problematic. If we don't get tier 3 or hoodie, if we don't get tier 3 or boots or gloves anytime soon, that is going to struggle. So it is somewhat successful, looking pretty good. And I suggested 70 cents to $1. I picked up a ton of the hoodies. I picked up a bunch of the pants. I actually sold a decent amount of them before we saw the acceptance. But I did sell some after the acceptance with the tier 2. I have made some wonderful profit. And now I ask you, did you buy any? Did you pick up any of a barter? And did you, flip them and walk away with some sweet, delicious profit? Feel free to comment below. It's okay, that worked out. Let's hope we see tier 3, right? It needs it. It really does. But yeah, Skin Creator did make another attempt for tier 3. And I think a lot of people need that to happen, because a lot of them did buy the tier 2. Oh dear. So we'll see what happens with that. So in terms of price suggestion, you were successful because you actually managed to pick up a bunch of them. So cool. Good job, Hedge. Bones Cage locker, it just suffered. So this locker, I looked at the bamboo locker. I could see it dropped off. I looked at this again. I thought, right, I'll probably just imitate the price suggestion there then. And yeah, so basically with the bamboo down to just barely over $1, I suggested only 80 cents to $1.10. And well, you probably have bought a bunch. At the very least, you bought them for half the price. You saved a bit of money, but yeah, these barters, it's only 90 cents there, isn't it? Well, if you wanted it, you would have saved a lot of money, but you still would have bought some. Let's see if it actually rebounds as we go through post-Christmas, January 2026. Will you work out, or will you just be like, eh? If I had to quickly look at the bamboo locker, so if I go look up the bamboo skins, yes, they are still down in price. It's not a pretty sight. I can't type. Sorry. No, not that bamboo. Sorry. Yeah, oh my, don't tell me you're $1. Oh, it's $1. Ooh, that's not pretty. I bought a bunch of these, didn't I? At least with bilders, yes I did. Ooh. So that happened. Not looking pretty, but as I said, at least you didn't buy off like $1.50 or anything. Did you actually buy any? Who's willing to step forward and admit they made a mistake? Feel free to comment below. With the only skin that was not abnormal, Ultramarine Rock actually worked out quite nicely. Sold for $2, now it sells for $1.90 on the Steam market. Not too bad, not too bad. So, did it crash and burn at all? No, it's just kind of slowly sat there. Slowly dipped right now. Not to complain. Only 37 listings. How many subscribers did you have? Oh, I only had about 9,500. Considering we had the rock, literally just the week before, the Deep Ruby rock, I guess people just weren't in the mood to buy another rock. And that seemingly helped it out. The collection, to this day, is still working out very nicely with many of the skins in the positive. So, no complaints. So I said 90 cents to $1.40 there. And I think a lot of people probably picked up a bunch. Were you one of them? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, going all the way up to $1.40 seems to have been quite successful. But could it go lower? Well, like most skins, it is expected most skins will reach their lowest point around the beginning of October. So we'll see how we progress from there. So, okay, not too bad, I guess. And lastly, Chameleon Boots. This did end up becoming the lowest selling skin out of the whole set. But the set, I don't know if it's in demand. Some of the skins are doing quite nice at the moment, but not all of them. Did you buy any? Because it did work out. As of now, as you'll see, it's sitting here at $1.80. Yep. Sold for $1.49, selling at $1.80. Sold not that much. Only 25 listings. Maybe we could see a chameleon jacket or something in the future. But with its position, I think it will be maintaining that price for the foreseeable future due to a lack of new listings. That's basically it. So cool. All right then, Chameleon Boots, you have proven to be successful, just not insanely profitable. And my price suggestion of 80 cents to $1.10, well, did you pick up any? I've picked up a few. I'm happy to see what that is, but I'd rather wait till January 2026 and then sell. So that's my personal opinion. So yeah, overall, got most of it correct. Quite literally, we got it smack dab perfect for some of them. Quite literally. But with some, I've missed out. I have missed out there with the fridge. I'm not upset. I'm pretty sure I still will be picking up some of the skins around here as we go through October time. But after that, can't go any lower. And it is expected. With the October Force Wipe, perhaps it's not going to be too bad. Big balancing update. Lots of people are going to be very curious. Perhaps a lot of people turn up, like last year when we had the World Update. And, you know, the momentum might stick because with November this year, we've got the Naval Update. Oh, yes. Lots of very curious people want to jump in and be pirates. They want to have pirate bases. They want to explore the high seas and find the One Piece. Anyway, yes, we have dipped now as we go through September, but plenty of interesting things on the horizon. I can't help but assume we're going to have a lot of momentum as we go through the Christmas period. So eventually, kids will be out of school. People will be not working as much. During late December, as we enter January time, I'm expecting another attempt, a great potential attempt, where we will see a lot of people playing and potentially break the all-time peak player count for Rust. And with a lot of people playing, there's a lot more demand for skins, much better prices. Let's keep our heads up high and stay optimistic. But no, honestly, it's looking like everything's lining up perfectly like last year. So cool. This is why I keep mentioning waiting until January is probably the best shout. Like, literally. Sell around then, you'll make your maximum profit. It's going to be wonderful. So with the Sinotype collection, wait until then. With the Heatseeker collection, wait until then. With the fridges, same. With all of them. And so, let's get a quick glimpse at the week after this. Come on, click. So it's a quick preview for the next video. Oh look, Meds, ooh, another skin. So 3 in a row, lovely. How far will we go? Well, that's another discussion. Under the Salt Hoodie Pants, okay, well, that's looking pretty cool. How much of it's going to sell though? Could that be a potential problem? Ooh. Oh look, another Anime Girl Garage Door. But will she be interesting enough? Will like, you know, she'll actually stay in the positive? Because how many garage doors have we had so far in 2025? Up to this point, quite a lot. And right now, present day, we're seeing even more. Another pair of boots, another fridge, a charity skin. We have some interesting things to talk about in the next video. That's for now. Feel free to comment below, brag about your wonderful profits, brag about your wonderful pickups with your buy orders. You're more than welcome to do so. Stay optimistic, look forward to post-Christmas, and let's walk away with some sweet, delicious profit, hopefully. So we'll see how everything turns out. Thank you very much for watching the video. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.